Hey y'all, it's Shelly and I am Scrappy Longstocking. I am here today to work on my story play album for pets or cats and dogs. Yesterday afternoon, I went ahead and put my day in the life together, which was amazing because yesterday was Saturday and day in the life was Friday. Then today, I decided to go ahead and put my pets together. Last night, I went through and I simplified this because it was super complicated and just all out, and I decided I didn't want to do that. So instead, I decided to make it as simple as I possibly could. And I may or may not print a cat collage or a cat collage and a dog collage. I may or may not do that. But what I've got so far is my plan is to use, so I have 6x8 pages, and my plan is to do a 4x6 and a 3x4 in each one, and then do a journaling card with 3x4. Not really sure what I'm going to say about it at this point. But this is my basic idea, is do front and back, and then to do one of these pages, which was in the kit. I bought the digital kit. I usually don't buy the paper kit at all with the story play kits. So I bought the digital kit, and so that makes it easier for me to be able to just print out and change whatever I want with it. So my table is a little bit crowded today, and I've got the window open. So I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put you all on fast forward and play some music and probably do a voiceover as well, since the window is open. I don't want any of that outside noise to come in. So, alrighty. These pages came together pretty easily. The entire project took about 2 hours for me to put together, mostly because I had to print some additional photos, print some additional copies of the 1 through 5 paper, and then I decided to use a digital stamp to print the names of my pets to place above the story on the full page papers. I also decided to add in some a paper from my stash that had little paw prints to go behind the cat vellum paper that I opened the chapter of this story with. I decided to place the 3x4 card on the vellum paper because of the plan that I put together for telling the story of each pet that I decided to tell a story about didn't have room for the additional card. So I went ahead and just taped it to the front as a sort of divider to say, this is a story about pets. This is the story about this, etc. Then I just went through and put the photo of each pet on where they go, where I had planned for each one to go. And then I did the journaling for each one all at once. And then I did the embellishment. So for my first pet story, I told the story of my cat Attila, and the gist of the journaling that I wrote was that I got her in 2000 with my first apartment. She was a great mouse hunter because once there were mice that got in, and she got rid of them super quick. She was my constant companion. She loved sitting next to me, and her favorite place was to be close and cuddly. And when it was time to go, she told me.
I used the orange word phrase strips to embellish, along with some puffy hearts and some stickers from Hobby Lobby. And so I put on the first picture of her, I put a sticker that says unconditional love and a puffy heart. And then on the 4x6 photo of her, I put the sticker that says perfect in every way. And then a sticker that says because my cat said so. On each page setup, I did the full-size page with the journaling. And then the facing page, I did the 3-pocket 6x8 page protector. And there was a 4x6 photo, a 3x4 card, and a 3x4 journaling card. On the 3x4 journaling card for her, I wrote, I don't think I'm supposed to have a favorite, but Attila is my favorite. She loved me so completely from the beginning, and maybe that's why. Even towards the end, she jumped over the gate to sit on my lap while I worked at home. The next pet that I told the story of was my cat Rosie. She is still with me, and I had a photo, a 4x6 photo and a 3x4 photo of her. She was a cat that did not like me at first. She chose my son as her person for many years. The 3x4 journaling I did for her says these 2 photos are the day before and a few weeks after we got Rufus. He wanted to chase her and she was not happy about any of it. Eventually, she forgave me and decided to love me too. On the 4x6 photo, I added the circle chipboard that says, until one has loved an animal, a part of one's soul remains unawakened. Then on the full page journaling, I wrote, I got Rosie in 2010. I thought Attila needed a friend because she seemed to be slowing down. As a kitten, Rosie wanted to be petted, and she slept with me after Cody went to bed. As she grew, she chose Cody as her person, and that was okay. She's a feisty cat who has grown to love me in her older age, and she's 15 now and beginning to slow down a bit. It's the age Attila slowed down too. Glad to have this time with her. Then the next pet I told the story of was my cat Artie. And I wrote on the full page journaling, I wrote, Artemis came into our lives in January 2019, just a few weeks after Rufus did. She was a stray on a freezing night, and she walked right into Josh's house and did the same when she got to my place. She's a bully and a troublemaker around here. She has killed multiple plants and made innumerable messes. I'm not her person. Chris and Kayla were her people, but I am the pet caretaker here, and I hope she will settle down more as she ages. In the meantime, we have a tenuous truce. The cat story, the 3x4 card that I chose for her was a cat story. And I wrote, this lady has a giant personality. She sleeps in odd positions and gets herself into odd places and seems to have zero cares about anything. On the 3x4 for her, I chose some of the word phrase stickers that says rescue, life is better with a cat, and a gray puffy heart. And then I wrote on the 4x6 photo, I used the circle chipboard that says cats forever. On the back page, the last page facing the dog's story, I chose to tell some stories about cats that I had as I grew up in my life and don't have any photos of. I chose to tell the story about my cat Gizzy that I got when I was around, 10 or 11. I was in the summer. I think we got him when I was in the 5th or the 6th grade. I can't fully remember. Then I told a story about my grandma's cat Susie, and my grandmother had that cat ever since I could remember until I was, she died when I was an adult. So those three cards tell the stories of those cats. We also, at the same time, we got my childhood cat. My mom got my brother a cat named Jazzy, and I told the story about the two of them on a 4x6 card, and then I told the story of each of the other two cats on the 3x4 cards. Then I treated the dog story the same way. I chose to tape the 3x4 card on the front of the vellum page. It goes right into a page protector instead of one of the full page journaling spots. And I chose that because I didn't want to use another filler page, and I had enough room where I could tell the story of my two dogs that I had grown up. I chose just some photos of me and my dog Rufus because the other photos that I had of my dog Sandy were the only photos that I could find, because I had Sandy at a time where I had film camera and we didn't used to take pictures of our pets and random items and our food and things like that when we had film cameras. So and I think most of the people who watch these videos understand exactly what I'm talking about. So though I also had that dog Sandy for a much shorter time. I only had her in my life for a couple of years, but I had Rufus in my life for, I think, 6 years, 5 or 6 years, because I got him 4 years. Okay, so about 4 years. But then, so I started this one out, and on the 3x4 card on the opening page for the page protector, I told the story of my grandma's dog. His name was Goliath, and we called him Golly. And I grew up with him as well. He lived until he was 13 or 14. He was a big golden retriever. And then there's two pictures of Rufus that are super cute. There's me. I had to buy shoes for my dog Rufus, and there's a picture of me putting his shoes on him for the first time, because I used to have hardwood floors in my house, and as he aged, he found it harder and harder to walk, so he stopped walking, and I noticed that. The sticker, I used a word phrase sticker and a paw print sticker, and I wrote dog mom. So it was the word phrase sticker that I chose for that. Then there's a picture of Rufus after he got his bath, and he's making a funny face. I used to give him baths in the backyard when it was hot, and he did not like baths. He did not like water. He did not like getting wet. And so he would endure the bath, and then he would run around and roll in the grass while I dried him off. So I would dry him off, towel dry him, and then brush him. And then he didn't like the blow dryer, so I didn't force him to do that. But it was hot enough, so he dried pretty quickly. And then on that photo, so I chose that photo because I caught a picture of him making the best face, and he looks like he's smiling. So I used one of the chipboards. I fussy cut it out, and it looks more like a wonky circle than a regular circle. And it's the one that says true friendship is seen through the heart, not through the eyes. And then on the back of that, so that is the intro page for the dog story. And on the back of that, I tell the story of my dog, Sandy. And so I chose the card that says dog story. Every so often I get to pick her up for a bit and play with her. Sandy always seemed happy to see me and to play. I'd have loved to have her back. It was just never possible. So the long journaling, it's sort of out of order, because in the long journaling, I told the story of how after I left home at 18, my mom sent my dog to live with my uncle because Sandy, so on my long journaling, I wrote, Sandy was another rescue. She loved me from the beginning. When we went to pick her up, she ran straight to me and hugged me. She was about 8 to 10 when we got her and looked to be a golden collie mix. She was beautiful and she learned very quickly. One of her favorite things was to be picked up. She also liked to just hang out together. After I moved out, my mom gave her to my Uncle Steve, and he and my aunt and uncle took care of her until she died. There's no time I didn't love her when she was protective of me, and she was protective of me with everyone, and I protected her back. And then I chose the Dogs Forever chipboard, and that one is a circle. And then there's a picture of her where I had picked her up one day to bring her to my house to hang out. And the word phrase sticker that I chose for that one is such a good girl. And then a heart, a puffy heart for her. The next story on the back of that is the long journaling for my dog Rufus. And then a page filler for Rufus. Or not a page filler, a pocket page. So the long journaling about Rufus is that Rufus was adopted in 2018 on December 26th. There was an adoption day with a $25 fee for Christmas. He was 10 when I got him, and he almost died from a broken heart, kennel cough, and being neutered when I got him. And I got him through it, though. Soon he blended into the family. He was silly, totally chill, and very clingy, and he was so very loved. He came to Arkansas with me and Chris, then moved again to NLR, and he got sick again in 2021 and took several months to get well. I just had 5 years with him, but he loved me and probably knew he'd been saved from the shelter. So grateful for him. And then the photo, I have two photos of him, a 4x6 of when we first got him. And then the stickers that I chose for him were adorable because he's making the best silly face that I've never seen a dog do this, but he would get his lip caught on his teeth and just make the funniest face, and he would do it every so often, and I caught him on camera doing it maybe 2 or 3 times in the entire 5 years, and it was just so funny. But that's the photo I chose, and I chose the word phrase sticker that says life is short, hug your dog, and then the black clear sticker that says adorable. Then there's the photo of Rufus sleeping, and then I chose a word phrase sticker that says the goodest boy and a gray puffy heart. And then the 3x4 journaling card says Rufus was the best good boy. He made silly faces and loved all the snacks. His favorite was to snuggle on the sofa with me whenever possible. Towards the end, he slept on his bed instead. Love him. And then the back, that's the last page in my pets chapter of this story play. I decided intentionally not to put something on the back of that because it faces the watching and listening page. And I have planned out the watching and listening page, but I was considering using maybe a filler card or two, and then putting a photo in the pockets on that side of the page, which to me it makes sense just because it's like a chapter. So the vellum is the chapter change, but it makes sense to use the back of this page because it's like since it's facing it just makes sense to me. And so one idea I had for that page was to use one of the filler cards. And I think I might have taken a screenshot maybe from Instagram or Facebook of the announcement that the Alie Edwards teams put on socials And so I can put that in there, and then I would just need in one of the 3x4 pockets, and then I would just need the 4x6 to be filled, and it would be facing the watching listening page. The other thing that I decided to do with this album is because the album enters the first story of pets or cats and dogs, I just went ahead and put a full 6x8 page protector in the front so that the vellum doesn't tear and gets less wear and tear on it, almost as like a protective sheet over top of it. And then the thing that I didn't do, but I'm considering looking to see, is to look on socials to see if there was a date announcement that the Alie Edwards team posted on socials to see if I can or should print out a 3x4 where it gives so that I can put it on the back of the cats page, or I can put it on the filler page of Pet Paws that I inserted. The kit that I used for that is a pet kit that I've had in my stash for at least 2 or 3 years, and it's by Cutables is the designer, and it's a double-sided 12x12 scrapbook kit, and it's just got, I think it just has like some stickers, and it's got some double-sided papers. And my plan, the reason why I bought it was my plan was to go ahead and use that kit to tell stories of all my pets and just print out the photos that I have of them and just tell stories with this kit. I have, like I said, had that kit for at least a couple of years, and I've got all the supplies to do it, and I just haven't done it. So I am considering taking it off my projects to-do list and just not doing it. I kind of want to do it, but I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's not top priority like Project Life, because the stories, they don't really die or go away, but we do forget details. Let's see, what else can I tell you about this? I encourage everyone to do a story like this, or to do this particular story, or to tell the story of your pets, whatever type of pet it is, because I so very much enjoyed going back through my photos and looking for pictures of my pets specifically. And then when I looked at them and was looking through them to choose the photos, I got to reminisce about my pets that are gone, and I got to tell the story and look through all the photos in my camera roll, and all the photos that I had scanned. And some of those photos were, I don't know, 25 years old, all the way back to 2000. Some of those photos went. And so it was really fun to look back at the old photos, to look for photos of my pets and just reminisce while I was looking at them. This story chapter turned out super, super simple because I was trying to get the stories done and I got them done. I got 2 of the 4 stories done in a weekend because I wanted to get all 3 of them done as quickly as possible, because December daily season is coming, and I'm also telling my fall into love stories right now, and I'm trying to do I'm trying to keep up with Project Life, do my fall into love stories, and trying to get some of my travel stories told as well before I jump into setting up for December daily and paying attention to all of that. So eventually I will get to the point where I will have to put this away, but I wanted to have at least those 3 stories told. And I think I'm going to try and tell the gratitude story in November, close in time to the days that we actually document. So I've got those supplies printed out in the album, and I think I chose to show that to you at the end, but I cut it out because this video is already 35 minutes long because it took so long to get these pages put together. So the other thing that I did was I printed out a bunch of the extra cards using the stamp. This one, I bought the digital kit and the digital stamp, which I don't usually buy the digital stamp because I'm not very good at using them. But I knew I had all those supplies to tell my stories of my pets in the album. So that's why I bought the kit itself, or the stamp along with it, because I could recreate some of the cards using the stamp. So even though I could reprint it, I wanted them to be somewhat different. Here I left in the going to my tablet and printing out another couple of photos and some cards from the kit. I also printed out 2 of the 4x6 word phrase cards because I usually print them on 4x6 paper and then use tape to adhere them. But recently I got a package of full page white sticker paper, and I will have to get better at using it because I printed the items that were supposed to be stickers from all 4 of these kits, and they kind of got off the edge. So, but I did like printing out the word phrase stickers as on the sticker paper. The other little bit that I left in was trying to figure out the process of trying to figure out what and how to put my pets' names in that little spot above the story on the full page paper for journaling. That took a little bit. Initially, I was thinking I would use letter stickers because I have so many of them and they are just right there on my desk. But then I realized they wouldn't fit in this. I didn't have enough stickers that would fit, that would match for all of them, that would fit in that small space. Because part of my goal was to try and make all of these pages similar so that it flowed together. And so what I ended up deciding to do, I've already told you, is to use the alpha stamp from my digital stamp set. I think it's an old Week in the Life one. And I chose that one because it coordinated with, I could print it out on clear sticker paper, and it coordinated with the decorative stickers that I used, which were black on clear sticker sheets. So it took a long time my tablet was not acting right. I usually use my tablet to do this, but I ended up having to use my computer, which is sort of old and slow. And it's not as easy because it was just not working very well for me. So, and then the last thing I decided to do was leave this page blank, this filler page, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. I didn't know. I just knew that I needed something to go there so that it wasn't a blank white page. And I chose that pattern paper. So I think I'll just leave it that way because I think it's been about a week since I put these pages together and I still haven't figured out something for that. So maybe I'll just leave it blank, even though it's a full page of just pattern paper. All right, friends, I think that's all I have for you today. And I thank you for hanging out with me. I very much enjoyed hanging out with you and sharing my pages for this pet story kit with you, along with a couple of little stories about what the plans are for the last couple of bits of this year's story play chapters. So go ahead and press the like button if you want to tell the algorithm that you want to see more pages like this, more videos like this. And go ahead and press the subscribe button if you want to tell the algorithm that you specifically want to see more of my videos. So I will see you around the internet. Bye, friends.